What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Devin, how you doing?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I cannot complain, man. It's beautiful to be alive and with one of my favorite reggae bands in the world. They're on today. I'm going to go ahead and say they're my favorite reggae band in the world.
They're number one for you, huh?
Number one. Yeah.
I thought so. I always knew it.
No one comes at a close second. No one. Fortunate Youth will be on the show today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. These are our boys.
These are our boys.
Yeah, man.
The hang.
This is the hang. It's always nice. You know, so far we've been so lucky to have so many great guests. And it's always really like extra special when it's some of your friends. You know what I mean?
Definitely. You know, when you're playing these festivals, you get to, it's pretty much, we go on and we play shows, and that's the work, right? That's the 9 to 5, and we enjoy playing music. But the other half of the party is just the backstage and the hang and all that. So
that's true. You know, it's like there's this musicians like to say, oh, like the backstage isn't all it's cracked up to be. But in this scene, it kind of is, you know? It's a pretty fun hang.
Yeah, everyone's, you know, passing around the ganja. Is that what the kids call it, the ganja.
We say ganj.
Ganj, and drinking adult beverages and whatnot. So, and in these days, there's a lot of tasty adult beverages. There's this store by Jeanette's house, and it's like they got all the good beers, all the like hard to find beers. So
nice.
Have fun with that. Yeah. Side note, that's for our beer podcast. Sorry.
Yeah. What are you drinking a beer today? I am.
Yeah. I got it's a good beer. It's pretty simple, but it's a nice one.
Oh, there you go. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, I really like this Westphalia. It's a red ale. This company's great. Everything they make is really tasty, and it's a Nuremberg red ale. I like red ales, but sometimes like the reds and the browns can have this weird like burnt taste.
Yeah, totally.
But this one doesn't. It's nice and sweet.
Okay.
And you know what else is nice and sweet, Raj?
What is nice and sweet?
The record that you have selected for this week.
Yes. And it's funny you said that. It's funny that you gave it that kind of intro, and I'll tell you why in a bit. But yes, without further ado, let's play it.
Can you let's people listening to the podcast, why don't you tell them what record this is before I put it on?
Before you put this on, this is Larry and Alvin. Is it Larry and Alvin?
It's Larry and Alvin.
Yes, it is. I'm like, is it Larry and Terry? No, Larry and Alvin. And the song's called Smell You Crep.
Yes, me know this one. Run tune.
That tune for so many
Hold on, Raj. There's a note from people saying turn your mic up.
Turn my mic up. Oh,
yeah, turn your mic up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what I can do here. See how I can help out the situation a little bit. Is that better? Yeah.
It definitely sounds louder. There you go. Let's roll with that. Let's roll with that.
Let's roll with that.
All
see
right.
Now in editing, like when I edit them, I got a compression. Anyways, there's so many reasons why I love that tune, and the first is the name,
Right.
so when you look at it, smell your. It's CREP.
Right.
It's obviously everyone their mind first goes smell your crap, and I'm like smell your crepe, like a crepe, like a food, like crepe.
Right. Which is better. I would, if you had to choose between two of those things to smell.
Right. Well, definitely yes.
Yeah.
So the name is kind of funky, right, and the whole meaning behind it, but the two. I mean, the reason why I really love it is just Jackie's piano. I'm assuming Jackie Matu's the one playing piano. It is him playing organ. I could be wrong, but that piano is rocking. I mean, if you listen to it again, it's just I've never heard piano play that pattern, even in the Studio One stuff. And I know it's not something that you really think about at first, but like it's just gang 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 gang, like it's just bang.
Right.
Like nowadays you couldn't get away with that because the way the instruments were separated and whatever method they recorded in, it worked out. It wasn't too abrasive. It wasn't too in your face. It added to the texture. It was just a texture in the background. And so, but that's something that caught my ear off the jump. Is it like, dang, this piano is rocking, and of course, it's just a good groove. The bass is driving and everything like that. And I thought it was relevant tune to bring up because, we over the past couple shows we've been talking about some of these songs that really show the transition from era to era, and we talked about Nanny Goat, which is the flip side to this.
Oh, okay.
Song.
I didn't know
Nanny
that.
Goat's the flip side. Well, at least on the copy I have.
All right.
And so, this group, Larry and Alvin, Larry Marshall, teamed up with Alvin Leslie, and they formed a group. And they have freaking a couple bangers under their belts. Nanny Goat and Throw Me Corn, which are two big songs, in all of our books. I was like, okay, cool. I was like thinking about playing the Nanny Goat song, but then I was like, oh, yeah, this is the flip. I got to play this one. So
I've heard it before. I think my brother showed me that song. And so did you say already, but like, do we know what Crep is?
So I was hoping you would decipher this one. It's kind of like a little patois vibe, so I can't really, really get the whole gist of the whole message, but
right.
boy, I smell you a Crep. So it's like, I'm sure that's what they're going for is like, F this guy, what's going on here?
Right.
I can see right through you. I see what's going on, So, that's the vibe I got from it. Yeah. At the end of the day, only Larry Marshall, Larry and Alvin can tell us what the whole thing's about.
And Larry,
I got their cell phone, so I can call them too.
Well, you don't got Larry's.
Actually,
Larry's passed on, but maybe Alvin is still around.
Alvin might be around.
I didn't know. I never knew it was Alvin Leslie. Does he have like? I'm ignorant of him. Like I know Alvin Ranglin, of course.
Doesn't have Jack.
Okay, so he was just there with. He was just an and. I mean, Alvin, if you're watching, I don't mean to say you're just an and, but
come on,
Alvin.
Alvin.
Bro, you don't know. Alvin could just be
our viewers went from 2,000 to 1,999. Thank you, Devin.
Oh yeah.
Alvin scrammed. Dang
well,
it. You know what? That's exactly what I thought. I was like, okay, cool. Larry Marshall. Well, first of all, to figure out that the Larry is Larry Marshall's cool, right? Because it's like, okay, Larry Marshall, great. But trying to see, did Alvin Leslie have any tunes that I might know or anybody? And it was like zero. I want to say his work was limited to this to this partnership he had with Larry Marshall. It was it, and then Larry just kind of went on and had a little baby career, nothing big,
Nah, nothing big. Only one of the most influential Jamaican singers. Well, that was a great record. Everyone go check it out on the reggaepodclash.com or on YouTube. And we have, of course, Fortunate Youth is coming up very, very soon, but I have a record to play before we bring on the Fortunate Youth guys. And by the way, everybody watching, please hit the share button, hit the like button. Let's get all your friends and family watching this. It's going to be a great episode with Fortunate Youth, and they're coming up real soon. But before I bring them on, I want to play this record. So this one, before I play it, it's a special one. It's by a group called Attaras or Attaras. I don't know how you pronounce it. And it is. You're like, at first when I first heard it, I was like, what is it? Just some obscure group? But no, it is. You guys will all recognize the lead singer on this. If you listen to Jamaican music at all, you will recognize the lead singer here. So I'll leave you with that. And on the flip side, we will come back and talk about this record before we bring Fortunate Youth on.
be sure that when you call, he will hear you. If you live a life.
Yes. All right. Well, I wonder if anybody caught the lead singer there, but that is, so the group is called Attaras, but that is Pipe from the Wailing Souls singing lead.
Nice.
And Joe Higgs is singing the harmony on that. So I mean, that's just right off the bat. If you were like starting a super group of singers, and you were like, well, let's get Pipe and Joe Higgs. That's it. That's all you need. And then, not to mention I don't know this for 100% sure, but that's got to be Carlton Barrett on drums.
Oh,
it sounds a lot like Family Man on bass. I mean, the rhythm is so heavy. And that one was like just really obscure from the time it was released until about 10 years ago when the Great Pressure Sounds reissue label reissued it on this like really, really thick, great 7-inch. Mm-hmm. And so now it's pretty readily available. But I had that song on a tape that I actually taped like in the very early days of the internet, like when people were doing like reggae streams. Yeah. I would like take the line out and plug it into my tape machine and like tape people's things. And I had a tape of that guy DJ Greedy G from the UK.
Yeah.
And he played that song, and I was just like, what is this? And like I could hear that it was Pipe from the Wailing Souls, but he didn't list what group it was. So I was always looking for like a Wailing Souls tune called Brimstone and Fire and could never find anything. Right. And then flash forward to the release of this, and it was just like one of those moments where I was like, oh, like damn, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, that's a Joe Higgs production on his own Elevation label, which I don't really know that much about, the Elevation label.
Right.
And yeah, it's Pipe from the Wailing Souls and Joe Higgs singing harmony with the Barrett brothers, it sounds like, on bass and drums. You don't get like really any heavier than that.
Right. That, I mean, when the tune first kicks in, the groove of it, right? Us as reggae musicians, we, you know, you're never gonna nail. You're never gonna get it. It's not gonna happen in a million years. This is impossible.
Right.
But that is something we're definitely never gonna get. Is this immediate like groove, and it's just so slow. I'm gonna use the word slow, but like it's a million other things, just groovy and like just it's so like pimp. The drums and the bass. I mean, you know what I'm gonna do? It's just, you know, we gotta go ahead and I gotta find my mouse first, and go ahead and just for a quick. It's harder to play.
it's ridiculous.
It's harder to play like just that groove.
Because the drummer, like Carlton Barrett is doing a one drop, right? But when you see a lot of bands that are like trying to play that Carlton Barrett one drop groove, it ends up being so swingy that it loses some of the groove, right? It loses like, you know, when I say groove in this context, I mean like think about James Brown or like the Meters, you know, where you're just listening just like, like I can't believe how good this is, you know? Right. And Carlton Barrett was able to do that so slow, but never just like, and it just never fell off. And then his little like fills, there's no Carlton Barrett. It's a cliche thing to say, right? Bob Marley's drummer, but to me, he's the best drummer in Jamaican music.
Right. You know what? That's a testament to Bob, and I'll tell you why. Not take anything away from the Barrett brothers,
right?
But game recognized game, and I'm sure that when at that moment, you know, like you know, Peter and Bunny are it's like you know when things are starting to really happen, Peter and Bunny leaving the Wailers, and then Bob's going to take his band and decide, okay, these are the guys I'm going to round up. Obviously, he's been working with them already with Bunny and Peter, but it's like, nah, I need the brothers right here. This bass and this drum, it's it. Like
right.
And you're right. It is cliche to say it just because it is Bob's drummer. But if anybody watching this isn't familiar with the Hippie Boys or the Upsetters, please go and just type that in. The Upsetters, Hippie Boys, Lee Perry. I mean, the Barrett brothers were in those bands. They were drum and bass with those bands. So they were doing their thing and were making noise far beyond when they just started playing with Bob Marley. But
and Lee Perry was reportedly pretty upset when Bob took the Barrett brothers, basically took the Upsetters and made them the Wailers and went on tour. He was like, thanks, you took my band, like pretty cool. Thanks, Bob.
Isn't it funny though? I mean, without getting into detail, but like on little, you know, and I mean this like tongue in cheek, but even in our scenes, there's things that like that, and it doesn't have to lead to, it's not drama. It's like, it's just, it is what it is. Like cats will be like, all right, it's like, man, this guy's like the dopest on bass, this guy's the dopest on guitar, whatever, insert instrument. And it is what it is. If you're at the top of your game, then
hey, if Lee Perry had been paying the Barrett brothers,
right,
like, I'm not saying he wasn't, but they weren't gonna make the money that they were gonna make on. But whatever.
Yeah.
May not talk about their money. All right. Well, so those are our tunes of the week. And remember, if you're digging the songs you hear, you can always go to the reggaepodclash.com, and we put up a playlist of the tunes that we're going to feature the following week. So you can go there right now and hear next week's tunes of the week, plus a handful of other songs that we've picked, just so you can kind of familiarize yourself with the stuff. So when we're talking about it, you've heard it before. And also, if you guys like podcasts, that's the podcast favorite thing. You can now download the Reggae Flash anywhere you listen to podcasts. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, go subscribe, leave us a review, leave us a good rating, and the reggae gods will smile upon you. Well, it is now our great pleasure to bring you a group of men who for many years now have been the defining sound of reggae music coming out of the South Bay, Hermosa Beach area of Southern California. Yes. They are relentless road warriors and have crisscrossed the country, playing more shows than any other band I know. They have 7 albums on Spotify, including their most recent release live from California, which we're going to talk about. Please, everybody, put your digital hands together and help us welcome to the PodClash Greg and Dan Kelly from Fortunate Youth.
Yes, boys.
Hey.
Yeah. I see Dan's on.
There he is.
Yeah,
What's up,
man.
guys?
What's up, guys, man? How you doing, Greg? How you doing, Dan?
Good, man.
Yeah,
Good, guys.
man.
I'm having the best time already.
Oh, Dan's having fun over there.
I gotta get you guys in my sights, a little bit.
I love the backgrounds, man. I mean, like, that's part of the thing in doing these streams is like, all right, what's gonna be the backdrop to everyone? And it's so cool. Like every time.
There's a banana costume right there.
I have the banana costume too. I've got that same banana costume.
This is a cock. Do you have a cock?
I don't.
Oh,
no, it's a known fact.
Are you sure, Devin?
Come on, Devin! Come on!
And sorry,
Devin,
it's just the way it is.
That's
no
fuck
rooster
bullshit,
in his-
goddamn shit fuck right there.
What if I upped you one and I had a live rooster in this studio? Then I would win. But I don't. So you win. You win.
I'm looking around like I have one.
Man, so how you guys doing on this lovely Saturday? I mean, thank you for being on the show. We've been doing this for a little bit, and we're enjoying it. And you guys were on our list of guys who wanted to get in here because, like we said at the top of the show, you guys are the homies, and just love talking.
Thanks for having us, guys. We're stoked to be here.
Heck yeah, dude.
Where are you guys calling in from? Greg, where are you calling in from?
I'm on my way home. I'm in Monterey currently, but I live in LA, so I'll be there tomorrow. But just slow roll back home.
Right. Dan, where you from? Where you calling from?
Technically, right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in Redondo Beach, California. Hello.
Nice.
Yeah. Testing this out. Hold on, where's my headphones? Let me get those on. Because you guys are so pro, I better look up.
Yeah, there you go.
Not that there's a cord plugged into this, but we're gonna work it out.
It's all a facade. It's all made out of styrofoam. It's just there to make us look the part.
Someone in the comments, Greg wants to know how you get your hair like that.
You just let it grow and you sit in the sun, and that's about it. You don't cut it, and you don't.
For anyone listening to the podcast, Greg has just a luscious.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Don't ruin my hair.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
I
like.
Pretty soon, but right now, Greg, come on. What do you shampoo with? Huh? Herbal essence? Is it all organic?
It's been a few years.
No, that's not about me. because I don't even.
Yeah,
share
it is. It's just,
time. You know, I do it every
just
other day.
eggshell.
You know, because it's going anyway. You know, I'm part of the. I'm leaving my hair behind club.
Yeah. Join the club, man. See, I
I like it. I like how this made it to the
Not only am I
top of
the person,
top of
but I'm also the president.
I love it.
I don't
love
miss it. I don't miss it one bit, especially
We're
during
trying to say
summertime.
you have beautiful locks, and we want to know what you do with locks.
See,
of love.
Roger is way ahead of the game. He's like, I love it.
Ahead of
You
one
don't have
game,
anything to
you're
worry
ahead of
about.
the other game, and we want to know. Is everyone out there wants to know?
What's the freshest?
What do you, Greg? What do you use for your lovely locks of love?
Dan Kelly's new shampoo
No,
called
I'm losing
Locks
mine.
of Love.
God damn it!
Hey,
You'll never find out, Dan. Never.
I'm taking a shot. You see that you drive me to drinking, son.
you
Drive me to
drink-
drinking.
Oh, is it that time?
Here we
Drive
go.
me
The
to drinking.
first shot of the day, right? Here we go.
Cheers, guys.
This is my first beer of the day.
Hey, what beer we
Not-
drinking, fellas?
Oh, 8 or 5.
Here, we got to cheers the camera.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, sure.
Cheers.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
Cheers.
wait. I got this one for you guys.
Just so everybody, I've been on. I was
If I
gonna
put
say it.
this bottle closer, it looks bigger.
Yeah, it's true.
It's really
I've been on a couple tours with Fortunate Youth, and this is exactly what the green rooms are like. You guys are witnessing it.
Love it.
We're gonna rally up, guys. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna give it 110%. If we ain't gonna give it 100, we're gonna give it 110. You can't pull it up, pull it up, pull it up.
What language?
Okay, I have
are
questions for you guys.
All right,
Actually,
let's shoot it in the radio voice, a little bit slower.
I'll start with that question. Do you guys actually have like a whole roundup speech before you jump on stage?
Greg always
Yeah,
has.
you guys?
Come on, Greg, take it away.
Greg, give us a sample. I mean, don't give me the secret or what. Don't give me the
Oh
secret to
man,
the.
you guys
Just give me a
just
little
put me. All right, the sample. Let me see what I can think of.
There's a
right now.
spot.
Everybody put your hands in there. You know, everybody puts their hands in, and then
Devin, put
a
your hand
big
in.
bear hug.
Devin, put your hand in.
Right.
Put your
A bear hug with the hand in or
No,
the hand in
it's like a
first?
bear hug. It's like a bear hug. Everyone just got a bear hug. Put your paws in there,
Put your palm in. My hands here.
and then you take a knee.
Oh no!
Whoa.
That's
None
too
of
much.
this is
I got
real.
my hands out.
We don't do anything.
It's too much. All right,
And
all right.
then you just go. You just
Hey.
say, all right, who's gonna light this first?
There was one time we did something. It was at the Rocks. Was it Roxy?
Okay.
And there was in the back because the screen, you know, they actually have a screen that goes down. And so, you know, Jared Segal was there and we're all like, all right, here we go, man. Here we go, dude. And that's about it. You know, that was probably once in 7 years, maybe. Uh-huh.
Okay. I like it. Yeah.
We just go out there and go do it.
Just go and do it, huh?
We're
Usually-
lucky to get all the members on at the same
That's
time.
exactly what I was gonna say. Sometimes it's like, well, just where's everyone at? Where's that guy?
Dude, I will do it right now. I will do it right now. And he knows he's here. And it's not you two that I see on the top of my screen. It's the guy next to me. Right next to me this way. So Greg, get over here.
You mean
That's
the
why
rooster?
I always I don't know what happens with the chant because I'm never there on time for it.
No,
I'm usually
I
the
don't.
last
This
one to
time he literally we
there.
have drums playing.
Yeah.
He is not parked. He's okay. Maybe he's parked. Maybe he's got out of his car, but that's it. And
Right.
so he's running, and there you got the side dude on the side. Maybe it was Raleigh or Jacko. They're just like not Jacko because Jacko would like throw it in your face.
No, it was Jacko.
Oh
It
god.
was at Pacific Amphitheater. I think you're talking about with Steel Pulse 3 years ago, 3 days ago, and I think that's what you're talking about.
Oh, driving me to drinking. I just didn't even take the shot.
I got a little stuck in traffic. Got lucky that I made it in time for, like he said, the first couple seconds of the song,
Right.
and it worked out great. We had a great show. Steel Pulse absolutely smashed it. I don't think they know how to do it any different. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Dan was over there with that smirk, like, ha ha, what the hell?
All's out. It ends well.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
So
Those
as I mentioned,
keeping it lively. You know what I mean? You got to keep everybody on their toes.
It was, ladies
You
and
don't want
gentlemen.
anybody getting
It
bored.
was lively. It was yummy. What we call a girlfriend factor. All right, there's rules of the road, and this one is number 17A/B. It's called the girlfriend factor. And anytime you got a girlfriend in the house, you know, you got a band member, the band's listening in, give 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes leeway for the girlfriend factor. You might say a time, but when you got a girlfriend and a member, his girlfriend on the road, all right, we're tacking on 30, 40. So if the tour manager's smart, they will tack on at least double that and say, all right, I need you here. So then they're not only late, they're double late and then makes it on time.
What if the girlfriend has a boyfriend?
That's good.
Then it's a different band.
Do you ever
different band.
You ever do the thing where they're like, well, where are you at? What exit are you off of? And you just name like
So you're
6 exits ahead of you. Oh,
I hang up.
wait, is he
I just hang up right there. I hang up.
This guy is the king of that. To where you
That's
might as well just
because you're on my
don't
other side.
tell us 10 minutes, just tell us an hour.
No, Norm.
Is he over here? Is he over here?
I don't know. This is our 11th episode, and I still can't figure out like what my fingers are like pointing
Which
at.
way? Yeah, I think he's over there.
Yeah.
I think if we had a rule, if we had a bet going on the band, who's going to be late? Oh, look at him.
Maybe between me and Dan. Definitely.
No way!
Out of 6
Oh.
people, I would say we're
Okay,
the
6.
top
So we can
That's 'cause
think.
I'm
We can.
riding with you, bro.
No,
It's because I'm riding with you. We live next to each other. We're come
So,
on.
so we got the 2 tardy guys
You're
on the
welcome.
show.
You're
Excellent.
welcome.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well,
You
you
know
guys
what?
are both pretty on time.
you guys are on
Musicians
time.
are always
Yeah, we made it. We made it today on time, Dan.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Mhm.
And with that
That's
great
great.
head of hair, I
Love
mean,
it.
I have nothing
Love
to
it.
complain
Oh,
about.
man. Love it.
Can I ask you guys a question? As I mentioned in the intro, you guys are like super road warriors. And so like with this, obviously like the music touring industry shut down. You guys aren't able to go on the road. Like, how has that been for you guys? Are you guys having like tour withdrawals? Why don't you I'm going to have to choose. Dan, you start. You answer that first.
You start.
Well, at the beginning of this whole thing, honestly, it was a technology learning curve. This has been 5 months, I want to tell you. And so, the first few months, me and Mike D came over to the house. Everyone's quarantined at their house. Half the band, literally, Greg included, has had babies in the past, like before we quarantine. Like all this real shit is really happening, real life shit. And so for me and Mike D, we're like, all right, Mike D lives with a 90-something-year-old grandmother, and so he can't be too out there. And so I've quarantined myself pretty good. And so he came over twice a week, because I did a cooking show on Thursday, and then Friday we did Fortunate Fridays. And Mike D got all the technical stuff. Like right now, you see this border of us 4 guys, and you see a background, and you see some things cool on the bottom, tag, and that's what Mike D does.
Thanks. I got to change that actually. Thank you.
Online broadcasting system, which is one of these guys, we're learning it, and so for 5, I want to say 7 weeks we did this. So about, I don't know, maybe, God, was it more? I think it could have been 10 weeks. But so 10 weeks. And so then, because Mike D got hit by a car. And so we stopped doing the whole shit. We raised some money. Thank you guys that are listening to that helped us raise some money for him. I think we raised almost 20 grand for him.
The question is, how do you feel being off the road now?
The question is, how do I feel being off the road now?
Yes, I hear your manager is in the background.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And the truth of the matter is that it absolutely sucks.
Okay.
There's nothing great about it, because all those times of doing this live stuff, there's just Mike D in front of me, and then all these answers of all these questions you can't answer, and then all this work that it will never ever equal. I mean, Naka goes on live at 3 every day, and I don't shun up on that. Please do. Everyone needs some love, needs some guidance, and needs everything else. And of course, he's answering the question, Sonny. Come on. Anyway, so the moral of the story is that we do miss the road. Life was the road. Everything was the road for us, and it's cool that it's not happening in some weird 10% way, but really, I just miss it every day. And you go ahead and go, Mr.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Over to Greg.
Greg, what do you think?
Greg,
What
yeah.
are you having tour withdrawals?
Tour withdrawals. I would say, like Dan said, we've been and you said, I think we all have experienced like the road warrior lifestyle of just putting your head down and grinding through tour dates for years. And I think that was a crazy thing for all of us to take a step back and have the time to almost like kind of reflect on that and be like, wow, like not on the run as we have been. For me, obviously, family time has been great. I think we're all missing the live music and everything that comes with that, all the togetherness. Everybody getting together. You feel like you haven't seen people. At this point, normally you'll see them a couple months. Now it's like year or two, or however it all unfolds. But it's silver lining for me. Like Dan said, having a family, it's you definitely cherish all the time at home. But yeah, we're trying to stay busy music wise to fill that void of no shows. Like it's a crazy thing. We've been blessed and cursed, I think, with the nonstop aspect of playing shows and traveling. So a little bit of pros and cons, but yeah, I can't wait till everyone can get back into it, and you can see that it definitely feeds people's soul a little bit to where everyone is, I feel like, having some live music withdrawals here and there, just talking to people. So
Definitely. I see it in the comments right now. People saying we miss live music. Nicole says, "What's up, fools? We miss you."
yeah, we miss everybody, that's for sure. So hope everyone's doing good out there with all the changes every day. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
I don't think there's been a break in that of just everyone trying to figure it out. So I think we're in the same boat there.
Greg, you mentioned pros and cons, and I'm sure everyone has the pros and cons of this era of us having to stay home quarantine, not being able, especially musicians, right? We find there's a lot more free time on our hands. So, have you guys used that? Still being productive with the band, like writing music. Have you guys been either individually or bouncing ideas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. For us, that was a huge goal through all this. Was we had a plan that as you guys know, you're just trying to get as much of the music out there as you're creating it. The more you sit on it, the more you kind of are like, man, it needs to get out there. So we had all this music kind of prepared to be getting into the studio actually in like May. So everything gets pushed back with everything that's going around the world, and so we're just about to get in the studio actually in the next 2 weeks. So in the meantime, like you said, we've just been doing more at-home studio stuff. All of us getting better at that, and so that's been a cool thing too, because normally we're able to get together, kind of just jump in the studio or go rehearse together, and you get faster results, I think, working through some of the songs. So it was cool and difficult at times to, do it from afar. But it was fun. I think it's been good for all of us, and I'm sure the product of all of us, doing it that way will be a good thing as well. So
And
Yeah,
touching
we got Marshall Goodman and Ross MG, Long Beach Dub All Stars in the comments. He was touching on that. When's the next record coming out? He wants to know.
Marshall. Well, like you mentioned earlier, we just put out this live album. If you haven't heard it, the Live from California, which we recorded in November on the West Coast. So that was a fun and kind of milestone for us, getting to do a live album. Couple new tracks, but a lot of old tracks in a new version.
Marshall.
So that was awesome. And then, once we get in the studio in the next couple weeks, we'll hopefully get everything out by the fall and stick to that plan. And it's good to get back into the studio, I think, for us.
I was gonna ask you about that because I was listening to the album, and I mean, great album. You guys are, not, and I could, even if the album wasn't there, I could just totally say this because we played shows together and everything. But you guys are one of the best. A band can translate well in the studio, and a band can translate well on the stage, and you guys do both. And so I tip my hat off to you guys. That whenever I would go out there to watch you guys, not only did the audience totally love it and was into it, but like I'm over there studying you guys. Like, all right, cool, because it's such like
Come on, Rod.
I'm on the room.
Dan's laughing at you, Roger.
Oh, they're laughing.
Come on, Rod.
For people that are listening, they're laughing.
I agree. You're
comment.
right, but
you got the two Keezies and Dan. You have such a charisma on stage. You guys better stop it. You guys have to know that you guys are murdering the game. So, when I hear that live album, I mean, there's a lot of that vibe
Nice,
that comes
man.
through, and that's hard, man. I mean, that's hard. Devin, have you?
You got to
ever
be
done a
more
live
than the
album?
message,
I,
you
I've,
know. You
I've
got to
done
stand up loud, and you got to stand up proud, and you got to go out there and be more than
right,
the message. You know, people
right.
don't feel the words as much as they feel the vibe.
This is the first time I've ever seen Dan Kelly with the microphone like the right way up, though. It's usually pointed the other way.
True.
Ain't holding it,
True.
you know.
That,
It's all loose, bro.
I love that. That's one of the first things. I'm like, man, Dan got some style up there, murdering the game and trademarking the vibe. No one could be rocking that now.
You know, we're from South Bay, Los Angeles, California, here in Hermosa Beach, and I want to say that a lot of my friends, you know, in the South Bay, you know, Pennywise and Tomorrow's Bad Seed too, and you know, we all come from a little, even Black Flag, a lot of punk band descendants come from the same town as we are from. So a lot of that holding that microphone upside down is a little bit of fuck you, and gratitude. It's not necessary in a punk mentality. A fuck you is like almost thank you. You know what I mean? We're from a punk town, and so when I grew up in this town and playing music, like I had punkers that would just be rowdy and mosh pitting in the set, and your nuts might get tapped, you know. But that's gratitude somehow. Punker Paul, shout out to you. He's a preacher now. That's how punk goes. We all go to something.
He's a nut tapping preacher.
We go to one distance to another. You know what I mean? When it comes to it all, it's all really gratitude. It's heartfelt. You know what I mean? So in this town, you know, when that microphone's upside down, it's about mentality of like, come on, you know, this is about us all, and I don't have to raise a fist, but I have to do calls awareness to like life and motion and relationship and feelings and a lot of things that reggae music stands for is subject content to the words. You guys are playing music before that, you know, and you guys do a lot of homage to the music, you know, the music itself. Who's on the drums? You know, who's on the bass? Is it is it, you know, like who's on the microphone? Is it you know, like I watch it, so I love it. And those homages, you know, in us in South Bay, we, you know, in myself, only myself, I think, you know, when it comes to the microphone, holding it down, you know, when it comes to being somewhat of a badass, because I'm from Mississippi originally. And when I moved to California, I found out these people are badasses. We got a lot of things to say. And we mean so much. Our walk means something, you know, and who we talk to, our friends, we are the company we keep. And so for me, you know, when it comes to musicians and singers, you know, I got to look and listen and really bring it in. And so for my reggae pioneers that were before me, they said so much and meant so much, and they mean so much to me that I love when my band, Fortunate Youth, brings in all these melodies. And I'm like, how can I talk about what means something to us? And that's not about religion. It's about how we are as people. You know, the microphone upside down is like a little bit of thank you and to fuck you to the ones that don't understand, and that I do want you to, but it's my punk mentality being like, yeah, fuck you.
No, it's beautiful.
They're gonna raise it. They're gonna kick it up.
Dude, you know,
do it.
You mentioned like
If I did that bad, I'm sorry.
no, that's great. And you mentioned like being from Hermosa Beach and the South Bay, and like I was gonna touch on that because, you know, you guys have like to me have always had a really identifiable sound, and like you know, when I think about how a band from Hermosa Beach or Redondo is like probably gonna sound, my stereotypical expectation is like punk rock mixed with like a beach surfy sound. But you guys, I don't really hear that when I listen to you guys. Like there, you know, there's a little bit of that in there, but like to me, it always sounded way more like you were listening to Jamaican music as opposed to Southern California, you know, reggae rock. And so I wanted to ask you guys, maybe I'll start with Greg, like how you crafted your sound, and specifically like what you guys were listening to that inspired you to play that way. Because even if people go listen to your live record, I mean, I'm not going to say that it, you know, like
it no blows them all away.
It's like
live record is bomb.
I'm just saying that it does. It sounds like to me that these are a group of guys who are listening to Jamaican music rather than like what I stereotypically expect to come out of like Hermosa Beach. So, well, you know, what were you guys listening to get that sound?
Yeah, I feel you on that, and I think that was our goal. Was you take your influences so they're all like equally important, and you want to make your own sound. So yeah, we had those influences, like you said, that would kind of be like the beach vibe and LA culture, and then I think we definitely had the backbone of roots reggae because that was just what we were into. Coming into all this and like we've talked about it where it's just kind of how it came out. Like first time we jammed, cool, this is like what the vibe was going towards. It was a modern roots vibe that we and I think as we went on we tried to blend more. Dan, being from Mississippi, brought his own southern blues style that none of us really have that in the upbringing of LA. You know what I mean? That's just like a whole different depth of culture in that style of music. So like, but we all grew up listening to certain aspects, so we picked certain things that we like and put them together. But we really wanted to make sure as we got going with the reggae vibe that we were paying tribute to the stuff that we had so much respect for over the years, and old stuff that
they taught me reggae a lot. Honestly, they gave me soundtracks, cassette tapes with all these different and all these different bands that we play with today. So it means so much to me that I am part of this, and it means so much to me to carry the lyrical standpoint of the vocabulary of like, let's stay strong, let's be more than ourselves. These guys taught me a lot of that. So I wouldn't be unfortunate you that they didn't love it so much and told me so much and taught me so much. When I look at you two guys, I'm like, oh, you guys are essence of
encyclopedias. You guys are
encyclopedias. So
just so much awesome information because you guys care about the history. It's fun. You guys enjoy it. You want to find out who's playing bass on what track, what year. And I think that's, as we've dug into it more and more, you learn so much more, and then that really drives your style, I feel like, musically. And our first show, just randomly, we had played some like backyard stuff, just getting it all together. We had combined two bands. Dan was in a band called Rude Boy Roots. Corey Gonza.
He was in the band Irish State of Mind.
Yeah, we had Irish State of Mind, so we put it together, made Fortunate Youth.
Rude Boy. He's an Irish State.
Show was with the Abyssinians.
Nice.
And, like opening up the Abyssinians, and
that's the grandfather of the grandfathers, man. That's like hey,
you were like, our first show
let's start this.
And we're like, this is pretty cool, and Corey and I don't think we're 21 yet, so we don't even really supposed to be allowed to like watch the show after we played.
30. I was like, working it out.
So it was an honor, and then from there, every legendary musician we get to meet, like you guys, you know what I mean? Everyone I think is doing their own thing, their own way. We get to be like, damn, we got to jam with Roger. I think the last time we were in the studio was with you, Raj, and
that's what I think today. I'm thinking today I think today, damn it, we play with everybody cool. We like lived our dream. Is it done?
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, your first show was with Abyssinians. So basically, what you're saying is your whole career has been downhill since then.
No, it's an uphill.
Hey, was that a back?
That was a downhill. That was a blessing. You got to see the blessings in life. All right, blessings in life. That was a blessing in life. Listen, you start this reggae thing, and I want you to aspire to the top. I want you to shake the mold that grounds the reggae vibe. I want you to be something more than the rest of them. I want you to do something. And that was my blessing I felt when I played with the Abyssinians. Whenever they were up there and they're hardly standing and they're preaching their great glory of good message of you deserve a better life. You have the power to do it. And I'm going to show you. That's what reggae is. And that's what showed me the first day of Fortunate Youth and our first live concert, which had no name for the band. It was already Root Boy Roots, and we canceled it, but we were going to do it. And it was a magical moment in my life.
Was it a backyard party?
No, it was a real show. It was a real show with a fog machine and lights and shit.
That would have been
real
dope, right?
shit.
That would have been
These guys
shame.
got really
If you
hard.
get-
And
if you
Mimosa
get
Beach
invited
backyard
to the
party.
backyard-
Redondo Beach backyard
If you get
party.
invited to the backyard Abyssinians, oh man, that sounds great.
Man, Abyssinians backyard party would be that's
I'm into that.
Abyssinians was not doing that. Abyssinians, I love you. Get after party, get out of this mind. Out of the mind. No after party. No after party. Get out of here.
We're like, oh man,
But playing with the Abyssinians, would they play after party? Negative.
Abyssinians, they took out the keg.
Bernard's doing keg stands.
Keg stands. It's like, come on.
Okay, so here's another thing I wanted to ask you guys about. You know, Fortunate Youth to me is one of those bands that has a crazy diehard fan base. Like every band that has some kind of success, you know, has diehard fans. But there's certain bands where it's just like the fans have this just really strong culture that's centered around this band that they love. And you guys are one of those bands where I think about the fans just being diehard. And for your fans, not only do they share a love of you guys, but it seems like they share. Yes, there you go. They share an affinity for herb. And cannabis culture is, of course. Oh, dang! There you go. We're getting the
He's
tats.
following your
Yeah.
cues.
Nice.
Yeah, cause the smokers club. Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So cannabis. You guys have a big following of people that love to smoke weed, and of course, the whole reggae scene has this. But with you guys, it seems like a very structured, like big part of the fans and your band. And so, like, did that develop organically for you guys, or was that something from the beginning where you guys were like we're gonna make sure that like herb is a big part of the band's kind of like public image, for lack of a better word?
I would say organic. We've tried to definitely live by that across the board. I think organically, we just put some music together, got to go play it, all those things attached to it, and then I think that's like the social aspect of the cannabis culture too. Is everybody becomes friends on the instant fact of that oh yeah,
Right.
you want to burn one, or
We'd be marketing geniuses if it were for real.
But I do think like you touched upon like the fans, and I think really honestly like they drive the ship. We put the vibe together, we put it out there, we put it out, and there has to be like a return signal from them of energy. So we're just lucky that it comes back bigger than we feel we even put it out there. So nice spotlight.
Yes, that's the Reggae PodClash first bong hit. Excellent.
Yeah.
Well done, Dan.
Really?
Well done.
Let me roll some up.
Devin set you up for that.
Let me get some of that smoke.
No, Greg, let's be honest. Greg is doing the political, like, good thing to say. We're lucky enough to be in a band right now. All of us on this screen, in any industry where marijuana is okay, because it's kind of gotten a little bit, okay. We're a little okay with this in many states. And for us, I'm from Mississippi. And so for me, in my state, I will go straight to the chain gang. And so for me, it was an advocate. I wanted to do this thing as a huge thing. And I wanted to smoke on every stage. And if they said we couldn't, we would.
Right.
And if we didn't, they did. And if they told us we couldn't get paid for it, I wouldn't fucking smoke. And then one time we did get busted for this one thing. Remember we played with fucking Mighty Mighty Bosstones a few days later in Canada. And they were telling us, oh man, this band didn't fucking get paid because they smoke weed. And then we didn't get, that was us, right? And so here it goes. And we got 25 joints thrown up on stage, and I didn't smoke one. I threw them all back. And that caused me
and got in trouble. For
trouble.
that. So
Really?
lesson learned, Dan. Don't throw it back.
What the fuck?
Don't throw them back.
Don't throw them back.
I
Don't
think
throw
it
them
was
back. In
like
Cypress,
being a part
they
of
don't
the.
smoke them.
Yeah, that's right. But being a part of the movement, I think, has been huge for us. Of just like think about, like Dan said, 20 years ago or 15 or 10 years ago. I mean, it was a
10 years
different
ago,
thing.
dude. 10 years ago,
Yeah,
man.
10 years ago, it's totally
nuts.
different.
Right by your Stella.
And now it's come to a point of understanding.
Now we
that,
can't get the guys out of prison for
you
it.
know, it's a positive.
That's true, right?
We can't get them out of prison for it, you know.
Yeah,
and this COVID shit. I mean, in what's the dude that did the what's the guy that did the fucking electric cars? I didn't mean to cut you off. Great. Tesla guy, the Tesla guy.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Musk.
Like, all right, so I can go get some weed right now, but the guys in jail for weed can't get out of jail in this COVID shit.
How can we
Right.
all be non-essential? But
This is a
one thing
non-essential
that you
story.
put everybody
Honey.
in jail for is-
Dan, I have to see like.
Can you just bring
Can you-
her
can
on
you
the
bring-
video,
bring
please?
your-
No.
Your guest, just a little peekaboo.
Bring him back here. You
His
don't
faraway voice
Just
is
a
just
little
like
peekaboo.
She's got good points.
Just a
Maybe
little.
that's what she
Hey,
wants.
what's
I don't
up?
know.
Just a
You
little.
gotta
Hey,
go
what's
back,
up?
go back behind.
yeah, go sit at least. Yeah, please.
Just a hi.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause now it's a mystery.
There you go. Hello.
Hi.
You're raising great points. We want to make sure that everyone can hear you.
Yeah, she's
As a matter
great.
of fact- as a matter of fact, Dan. as a matter-
You're not asking the questions.
Oh my gosh, Greg, you're out. Dan, can you go to the other room,
Yeah.
Miss? We got some important questions about reggae touring.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
No, ask him though. Ask him though. It's a good relationship. You talk. You can talk about amongst things. You talk about it.
What's the question?
Shh.
Oh.
Anyway, let's go.
So,
Ay, ay, ay.
I had to ask to Dan. You know, I'm sure the fans want to know too, because you mentioned that you your OG spot was Mississippi. When did you move on over?
When I was 15, July.
Okay.
Oh, it was 96 of July. I remember because I had a guitar magazine that I stole from a grocery store because I love to play guitar.
Nice. So at 15, you're already well into listening to music and having a musical identity kind of thing. Was reggae a part of that, or what were your bands meeting up with these guys over here? Like, what were you
Playing music is a gift of gift, and you want to do it and you want to be it and you want to taste it and feel it. And for me, it was all kind of over. I had kids and I was kind of done with it. And, I played open mic nights, just down the street from my house. And so I thought that'd be cool to do. I was a chef, open many restaurants, and I stopped being a chef.
You were a sheriff?
A chef.
Oh,
A
chef.
chef.
Sheriff,
I
yeah.
had to cook. I was a chef.
Sorry,
The man had to
A
cook.
sheriff.
Sheriff of a small town in Mississippi.
Wait, so a chef? So you didn't tell me this, man. I'm
Well, I
gonna
fucked up
make
the
you.
whole speech right now, man.
Oh, sorry
No,
to cut you
no,
off. Go
I
ahead.
was
So
a
you were a chef.
chef.
Go
I
ahead.
opened a lot of restaurants and worked for good cooks and did the thing. And when the recession hit, back in whatever year that was, you like the voice this one. Anyway, so and that's when I stopped being a chef, became an electrician, and learned about audio, video, and small stuff. And then I found the band, and I was still having kids. I had married 2 kids at this time, and I had a lot of businesses going on around me, and a lot of them, all of them failed. But one thing that didn't, even the marriage failed. Music was always there. Music was always something that carried my soul to something better than I thought. Like we all get bummed out in life, and people say I wish I could be a musician, but I've been everything else. And I got to tell you, like, no matter what you do, you give the love for whatever it is. You be a cook, be a chef, be a electrician, be a plumber, be whatever the fuck. Just be the best you can be, and do the best you can, because that is his life. And when you and ultimately in life, there is a gift you have, and I love entertaining. I love having a song that makes someone cry as much as it's made me cry to make the music, the song itself. The guys make the music, and I'm like, oh, I feel this vibe. I want to really hold it, and I want to bring it into my existence of what I'm feeling, and bring it out. And it was for me. And then what I found from all these 6 albums or whatever we do, it's like these people really take this song and they take it and they play it when they want to play it, and they make it part of their life. Like Red Hot Chili Peppers, great example, right? I don't know what he's saying most of the time, but sometimes the melody and everything that goes with it, it really resonates with what I'm feeling. And then when it comes to reggae, we're talking about how to pump each other up. And that's what I love about reggae. It's like no matter what hard times I feel, let's turn it backwards. And how can we make it the best time? You know, how can we make everyone else stronger by being, all right, life sucks. Cool. Let's look at it like this, and let's make everybody positive by it. It's the craziest music I've ever loved. I mean, punk rock wasn't the same. Metal music, definitely not the same. Like, reggae is life. I thought reggae is going to change the world, and I do think reggae is going to change the world. I do believe that the reggae music is the fruit on the tree, and I can't wait for everyone to have a little taste.
Well, if I may say, I mean, it already kind of has changed the world. I mean, you think about this tiny little island that, you know, we talk about this all the time. This tiny little island, you know, where music was being made, you know, from the early '60s, and you know, up till now, and it really went. It became, you know, reggae is not only international, but reggae directly influenced the creation of hip hop in America, and then dub music directly influenced the creation of electronic music, and hip hop and electronic music are the two biggest musics in the world. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's crazy the influence that reggae has, globally.
Yeah, and I think like Dan was touching on, and you know, with everything going on, and as it has been for years, it's uniting people, you know, and like you said, it's driven so much musical progress as well as like social progress. You know, people actually coming to an understanding about a world view rather than, you know, kind of this man versus man for no real reason. You know what I mean? I think there's just like an educational side to it.
It's been huge, and I think that it's huge for me and Greg, because we've seen so many great legends of this reggae, and for me and Greg, it's like, oh shit, I lost it. I had a good minute.
I think we've all had those moments. I can imagine where you're meeting some hero, you know, someone that you've been listening to for forever, and you know they're the most humble, coolest person, and you're just like, Did that just happen? You know,
what are those moments like? Nick, can you give me some of the artists that you guys have been fortunate enough to meet or play with that you guys have been fans of?
I mean, you know, Don Carlos, you know, all you guys, like, you know, every band we meet on the road that we've listened to, you know, for years, or when we were younger, or you know, a lot of the Roots guys, you know, Inner Circle took us in when we first went through Miami.
That's what I'm gonna touch on. Me and Greg,
those guys really taught us a lot across the board, just about music and trying to, you know, make touring and the business work, and then, you know, just the movement itself and where it's come from, and we're just trying to carry the torch, you know, of doing our own style. You know, I think musically everyone wants to do their own thing with all the influences in the, you know, kind of core of it, but you want to do your own thing and like do it justice by carrying on the torch and educating people that don't know about where it came from. You know, I think we're lucky for that we're able to still be playing or meeting a lot of these legends that are still around. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like never ending, because every band we link up for a tour with, you know, it's even a lot of these young guys, you know, it's like,
we only have gratitude. We don't want to work with you. You know, we only want to build this whole reggae thing. It's not us. It's we. It's one band. It's a team. You know, we wanted Bob Marley to break the glass ceiling to make fucking reggae something to where there's more than just one genre, more than one sex that has a Grammy. You know, in reggae, we got one person that gets a Grammy. You know, and it should be the male, it should be female, it should be duo, it should be so much more. Like, reggae is so much more. It should be old school, new school. It should be, you know, dance hall. It should be old. Like, there's so much of reggae that we need to really break through. Like, Sirius XM shouldn't just have one station. We need fucking more. You know, I'm just an advocate of reggae. I'm an advocate of, like, let's make life what we want. And reggae is life. And I'm sorry to be reggae is life, but like, it's culture. It's something that we can all strive to help our neighbors, help our brothers, help each other, and live a life that's actually, where we're all loving life. Love it.
And that's such a cool thing with the the uprising of like California, what people would label as California roots, California reggae.
Yeah.
kind of
See,
stuff.
same thing.
So many
Same thing.
bands,
California roots.
right?
Where the fuck did that come from?
Well, I mean, it's justified. It is really
It is
justified.
justified,
I think
and we
it
do
is.
have a lot of good music in California, but just East Coast, West Coast rap, and down south with fucking, there's in North rap, that it's. Are we part of this culture to where we got this divide, but we don't hate the divide? We wanted to make the divide come together.
Right. Do you think, Dan, and do you think that the California roots, there's an actual sound that comes with it, like California bands?
I do believe, just as well as I believe as a tattoo artist. Like you're going to get some good tattoos on the West Coast before the East Coast, and I say it because tattoos started in San Pedro. We came from China, Pacifics. We're part of Pacifics, and that came through. So, why wouldn't it? But then again, you're right, because Jamaica came from the south, and here we are in southern Florida, 60 miles, whatever it is, from Jamaica, from Florida. I think Cuba's closer, right? But whatever the case may be, I do think we have our own sound. I do think we have our Motown. I think we have our lowrider, fucking good jam blues, and our ska, mixed into our reggae. We have an ultrasound of things that we can divert to and snake through, and we can play whatever you want, whatever night it needs to be. Over there, they're a little bit, not rigid, but cultured, I guess you'd say, in a nice way. Rigid seems to cut here it should be, and here it shall not.
Dan,
what matter is,
Dan, I got to ask you, not to cut you off, but I just want to make sure I get this, because our good friend Marshall Goodman is in here, and he, speaking of you come from Mississippi, he wants to say, he says, I want to see more of that old Mississippi Delta vibe through the reggae lens, and I think we get that from you. But what do you think?
I agree.
Can we get more though?
You should hear one album. Marshall, just hear one album.
I think Ross MG wants to work with you, Dan. I think we're on
He's got
something.
my number. He can hit me up anytime.
He lost it.
I want to be part of the any backups of Long Beach Football Stars needs or whatever needs to happen.
Think about that. We got the legend Marshall Goodman saying what's up.
Legend. Whoa!
You're on his
I mean,
radar.
come on, Marshall. You're the man.
Come on, Marshall.
What?
You heard it, Greg.
Come on, dude. We've been listening to Ross MG for. I mean, come on, guys.
He's a legend, man.
Culture.
Send him the link. Get him on here, Marshall. Yes,
Send Marshall the link. See if he'll jump on the.
Well, Roger, do you want to explain to these guys how the rapid fire?
Oh
questions
yes,
work?
yes, I am.
Oh yeah.
There's this thing called rapid fire questions that we kind of, inject.
Bring it on, dude. Bring him in, dude.
You already know. I don't need to explain it.
Come on.
And so what we're gonna do though, we're gonna kind of change it up just.
Greg's
a bit.
got this.
As far as me and Devin will both be asking his rapid fire questions, and what's gonna happen is we're gonna take turns where me and Devin will switch off. But whatever question Devin asks, and I guess he'll start. Then both you got to answer, but then he'll.
Don't be so sad about
He'll
this.
direct
Okay?
you.
Pump this shit up. Don't be so
direct
sad.
you.
No.
Yeah,
It's a
Roger,
somber. It's a
Roger.
somber
somber.
task.
It's
Come
a
on!
I'm trying to pull up my questions on the laptop.
Okay.
So that's why I'm talking slow.
There's
See,
more
I'm
things going
talking
on.
slow
I'm
and
trying to
somber, so I
personate
can get
this
the questions.
situation. Just
You know
let
what? I'm
it
gonna start off.
longer.
I'm gonna start off the rapid fire questions. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right. So here we go. Greg, whiskey or tequila?
Tequila.
Dan, whiskey or tequila?
Whiskey, baby.
Shit.
Cheers.
Okay, Dan, dabs or buds?
Buds.
Greg.
Buds.
But I love dabs. I love dabs.
We love.
Bring 'em on.
We love.
If
We
you're
love.
watching this,
Nope, you
dig
said
at
buds.
me.
You said buds.
We love them, but
No dabbing.
No dabs for you.
Greg. Greg.
Oh,
Indica-
is this the package that's coming after this? Oh,
no, we're going. It's rapid fire.
Rapid
We're going
fire.
back.
Oh,
Rapid
rapid.
fire.
Rapid.
Let me go.
Greg, indica or sativa?
Indica.
Indica.
Oh snap!
All right, Dan, high tops or low tops?
Low tops.
Greg.
High tops or low
High
tops?
tops.
High tops.
All right.
Yeah.
Gregory,
Okay,
Edwin,
people. They're great.
Guadalupe. Greg, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yeah.
Dan, pineapple
Sure,
on pizza, yes or
pineapple.
no?
Only well done.
Okay, good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Well
you meant
done,
to say
nice,
that. You meant to say that.
All right.
Nice.
Greg, pop rocks or jawbreakers?
Ooh, pop rock.
Dan.
Oh man, that's hard.
Come on,
You know what?
rapid fire.
I do like chilling on the bus to eating some. What was the second one?
Don't tell me you eat jawbreakers on the bus.
You do not
Oh,
eat jawbreakers on the
jawbreakers.
bus.
But when I'm having a nice martini,
like me
I like
with
to
lemon
splash
heads.
in some little pop rocks to say I'm good.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
It's
I don't
popping
need-
and
I don't need
rocking.
either, but
A pop rock in my
pop rocks
martini.
are entertaining.
Okay, Roger, your turn.
All right. Dan, Netflix or Hulu?
What?
Netflix or Hulu?
You know what, dude? I actually,
You have to.
I'm
Just
really
pick one.
Rapid fire.
all about Netflix because Hulu, I got
Oh.
cable because I want to see in action. In action.
I don't know.
Greg, same question.
I'll say Hulu because I already watched everything on Netflix.
I love it.
Okay,
I love
Greg.
dividing
No,
the
that's
band.
two different things.
Greg.
What?
They're streaming services. Same
Two different things.
chicken.
though.
Same chicken.
Same chicken. Same
Same
banana
rooster.
costume. Okay, Greg.
Same chicken.
Jared Draskovich or Jared Sagawa?
Shit.
Jared Draskovich, you said first. I don't know what that's referring to, but yes, they are both named Jared.
No, you got to
Okay.
pick one of them.
Answer is yes.
Pick one, Jared.
Love you, brother.
Jared
Happy
Draskovich
birthday.
is,
His little man's
is first in
Love
that.
Jared Segal too.
See?
Okay.
He-
So you guys both. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
Nice.
Dan, keep your pants on.
They're on. They were just up.
Don't, babe.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Got an
my
X-rated in this
God.
one.
That was to the question. That was to the question.
Oh, my
Did
goodness.
Dan answer that one?
Next question.
I like
Question. I like.
I like the tricky.
Your
I like the
assistant.
tricky Jared.
So
the-
next question.
Jared or
we gotta-
Jared?
Let's see. Next question would be which one do I want to pull out? Okay, Dan, what's your favorite item on the hospitality rider?
Oh man.
Jameson.
Rapid fire.
Honestly, I don't have much on the
Vinny.
hospitality rider except the Jameson.
He likes Vinny Vinny.
And then they take it out. And then,
Okay.
damn it.
Greg,
They
Greg,
go to White Claw
White
or
Claw.
vodka.
one
Dan,
higher.
it's a
So far,
one
it's been
word-
alcohol.
Favorite. Water
It's a
is my
one-word
favorite.
answer.
Water is number one. I need 3 cases of water every time. Water. Water's my
Water.
favorite rider.
Greg?
Water.
What's your favorite item, Greg?
Avocados.
Ooh, that was
He's
gonna
answering
be
for
it. That was
And that
gonna
was
be
gonna be
it.
it.
And Dan definitely was Jameson. So I answered that for sure. because-
You guys ever put whiskey in an avocado half and
He's
rock it?
tequila, so it's tequila and avocado. We do a slushy, and it's a
Dang it.
really thick one, and then it
Beat
has
me on
tequila
that
and avocado.
You beat me at my own game there. Yeah.
That is good.
The good old avocado tequila.
Anytime.
It
Anytime.
actually don't sound bad, right? That's
Yeah.
pretty-
It sounds horrible.
I'm sure they got tequila flavored avocado, pop rock, tequila flavored pop rocks,
Ooh, dang. What would that be like?
pineapple
Oh,
pop rocks. Do I?
God.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since
I think
Dan
we
is
lost
dead,
Dan.
apparently, I think maybe
Dan
I
might
see a
have.
rooster, and is that Winnie the? Oh no, that's not Winnie the Pooh. That's a couch. Sorry.
that's it. Well, the PodClash has officially killed Dan Kelly.
Yeah, we lost him.
We made it through 11 episodes without murdering anybody.
We took one
It
out.
was the pop rock.
Oh, there he's back. Okay.
There you're back.
No, my cat needs a whole watermelon. That's what I wanted.
Did you just see that? Like
Yeah.
his screen flickered and he appeared.
Yeah,
Am I
yeah.
the only one that's? Are you a witch, Dan? Are you?
Hello!
Do you practice? Do you practice? What's that thing called?
Witchcraft.
Witchcraft with a witch.
Witch-
Santeria? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
no, no. What's that thing?
I ain't got no crystal ball, but if I did,
Mm-hmm. All right, we're kicking you both off of our show.
done. I love it. Get it done. Get it out of here.
No, but seriously, what can people like? What's next for Fortunate Youth, release wise, or like where can people go right now to support your music?
Greggy, take it over.
Go to our website, fortunate-youth.com. We had to put the dash in there.
I think it's a
Had a good
hyphen.
Story about the hyphen, dash, whatever you want to call it.
No, it's
Totally hyphen, dude.
It's called a hyphen.
I got high on the fin of the fortunate youth, so it's a hyphen.
Okay, so the website for sure, we can go check it out. And
Fortunate
Wow.
hyphen dash youth.
My screen, I don't know about you guys, but the screen kind of like freeze. Yeah, so all the music's there. We got the new live album. That's basically what we have until the fall. We're gonna be in the studio in the next couple weeks, so be on the lookout for that. We'll hopefully get some sneak peeks of the music while we're in there in the process.
I'm excited.
But yeah, it's pretty much nice, like Dan said, to get back in the studio, and that's gonna be like a whole new revival after all this.
Do you guys have songs written and stuff?
Yeah, we're pretty much there. We just gotta get in there, get everybody together, which has seemed to be, the toughest part for everybody to gather these days. So
COVID. Fuck you.
yes, fuck COVID for sure. I don't think
Nobody
can
likes it.
disagree with
Nobody
that.
likes it.
No.
I don't think there's
What
anybody
if we were
who's like,
friends?
yeah, COVID.
COVID really brought me back together.
You know what? You know what I was thinking of is that, like, if a band really wanted to, I get the precautions of not hanging out together because of COVID, but like if you planned it out perfect, right? You go and you get your test, and then you quarantine like in a closet, and then you get the results, and then everyone's negative, and then you can go, and now all you guys can be in a room together and record it, right?
Don't you come up with a remedy. Don't you
I'm
come up
telling
with
you.
a remedy.
I'm
Don't
coming
do
up.
that.
It's just how lazy are we as musicians. Now I ain't gonna. do
No,
it.
there is shit. There's
You know what I
stuff to
mean?
do. Well, the women gotta. You know what? We don't live with the musicians. We live with the women that we live with. All right, we love who we're with, and that makes our life. Us as musicians, we are married to each other, and then it comes to our significant others, which is who I'm married to, which is Greg's wife and all their wives.
You're married to Greg's wife.
Oh, Drasco's wife.
He finally came out with
You heard it here, folks.
All of them. Whatever we can and can't do as a family, we can't do.
Yeah.
And that's respect. If you can't do it as a family, you can't do it. And we're a band together.
That's
And
awesome.
and I'm not sitting here as Dan Kelly, and Greg's not sitting here as Greg. We're sitting here as Fortunate Youth. Like, I want all my brothers on this thing, but right now we got to do what we got to do in this COVID thing, and this COVID time. We got to take some kind of seriousness, because in our life, we're rebels to the day, and we run on the road until the day is done, till the road is no more. That doesn't mean this whole COVID thing actually exists for us. So what we got to do is make it exist for them, and respect their wishes, and try to make this. And it's not them; they are the voice of the other people that are coming to your show. You're just married to them, but they're the voice that's actually everyone else, and you got to kind of listen, because the majority kind of rules in somewhat. And so here we are, and you know what? I think there's a lot of great musicians out there that fill amphitheaters days and days and days on. And they're going to find an answer. We're going to find an answer. We're all going to be back. And if it means I have to fill an amphitheater for like it's a few thousand of you guys. That's my first time in an amphitheater. You know what I'm saying?
Can
It's
I-
gonna be awesome.
Can I get on the Can I get on the guest list for the first?
You're in the
for 3
band, Vince.
Oh,
We're
sorry.
gonna run it.
I'm in Fortunate Youth. Can I
Rob, you
join?
didn't know.
Everyone's in the band. DM me. You got a spot.
All right, Raj.
He plays the organ.
It's time. It is time for Raj and Dev.
3 keys
Well,
in the band.
Devin's come.
You already have
Devin's
2 keyboard
come and
players.
laid it
3
down.
keys is
Hey,
a
dude,
go.
everyone gets a solo, bro. Everyone gets a solo.
No, yeah, Devin's already come and laid it down. We got to get him back in there. But Raj, you got to come.
Hey,
Play
by the
down
way, I
some
want to
fire.
talk about
Always.
That's
the
right, by the
Long
way.
Beach album, the new Long Beach All Stars album, Devin. You killed it, and
Yes,
both you killed
yes.
it.
Yes, both
I think
your
it's
guys.
great.
Both your
One of my
guys'
favorite ones.
Both your guys' new music is epic. The
Thank you.
Gil Meeks Raj album, so sick. Long Beach Dub. So
I haven't heard
sick.
that
You guys
one.
are
I will.
Passionate.
But
We
the
gotta
Long
tell
Beach one's
people.
sick.
I mean, Dan and Greg came in, and we did the thing at Mario.
I'm still
C's,
gonna
right?
get the fucking lyrics. I'm gonna put it together.
That song was hitting.
It's a
dude.
banger, and I
That
just
song
now
was
figured out
hitting.
how to do Logic.
Yeah.
You guys want to know? It's tough being a band today because most of the band members, you got 6 members with another hand. Well, But anyway, so you got all these members, and if there were a majority thing, none of them actually do the recording. None of them actually know all the instruments and how those instruments go and plug into a thing and make a sound, and you record it, and then you got to send it. You got to send it.
Got to export that mug, yeah.
So like Raj can have music for me and all of us, and this has been the same for Miguel. You know, he sends it, and I'm like, all right, now I just got Logic. I mean, you know, Logic. I just got it right, and I'm like in it. But now I don't know what to do with it. I gotta watch a lot of YouTubes and shit.
Just turn the mic upside down. It'll work.
He like that. I gotta touch a thing.
He's I tried that.
It doesn't work. I tried that.
The computer upside down. Everything.
So for us, me and Greg and the rest of the band, you know, Corn Dog is the leader in the band.
Corn Dog?
You know, he was invited to the show, but apparently
Corn Dog was trying to make it.
Yeah, Corn Dog is here, man. Hey, dude, Corey Draskovich, Corn Dog.
That's Corn Dog. Okay.
No, he plays bass, right?
Yeah, Corey's
the man. And unfortunately, you got all the members that change instruments. Except me, I'm the singer and the
we
drummer.
We didn't even touch on that. You guys are like interchangeable Jedis, dude.
Exactly.
What's up with that?
No one needs to say what you need to do. You be you. Period. You be you. You want to play guitar? Play it. You want to play bass? Play it. You play keys? Play it. Look at him. Look at Greg. Say something. It's true.
Well, it started from the beginning of just being like, hey, I wrote this on the guitar, you know, jam a bass line to, or, you know, oh, let me jam a bass line to it. And so we would switch off, you know, kind of Corey and I and the rest of us and Jared and Trav and all of us would kind of switch up. And Dan's always, you know, play guitar because he loves playing guitar. So like we even were like, Dan, you know, it's your time. You got a solo on the album and you got to shred it. And you got to play it on stage too after. And
it took many years. It took like 10 years to get me on stage to play guitar. But even Travis Bongo was a guitarist before we started the band, you know, and so he played percussion. So we've tried to make this band as much as we can to be about free will. What do you want to do in the band? And what song do you want to do? Because it's not about, if you know Fortune Youth, it's not about like this guy's this, you know, except me and the goddamn drummer. And Rev's killing it right now. And but
shout out to
the other guys that switch around, they move around, and even if I had a song, I'd give it to them and say, "You guys play this, and you guys make it your sound." And they've done that many times. They made my songs their sound, and it's been great. And I've loved the experience of Fortunate Youth, being a band, having the fans, going on the road for the past 10 years, 11 years. It's been a fruitful adventure, and it's weird. Today I was thinking like, what if it comes a year since you know what next February? You know, like our biggest show was One Love this year, and we're pretty few months from it, and we are a aggressive band where we spend 75% of our year on the road. You know, like 4 months a year we come home, if not 6 months on a great year. You know, so 4 months a year we're always out. We're always feeding the fans music and more content and us being there and shaking and hugging and being, and all that's gone. So for me right now, I'm dumbfounded. Dumbfounded.
Well, it'll be back.
Start with the conversation. I'm just,
It'll be back. Well,
I hear you though.
You know,
that's big.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where you know.
Get down, let's get up.
It's a transition. You figure out what's going on for this year, and I think as we're all hopeful, it's going to come back and be stronger in a sense than it was before because people appreciate it a little bit more. I think just for themselves of like how much they personally valued that time. You know what I mean? And so I think that's a positive, and you know, flipping it on its head for us, you know, as the guys on the road all the time, you know what I mean? It's good to get out of your bubble of like, you know, tunnel vision in a sense, you know? So I think, like you were saying, Roger, like getting in the studio, like more music, you know, you're like more time to focus on creating, because we always loved to be in the studio, but we were on the road so much, we'd never, you know, it had to be really scheduled to like really force and carve out a time for that because it just wasn't possible with the schedule a lot of the time. So it's nice to be able to dig into other things a little bit. But yeah, we're all ready to play shows again.
And Raj, I see you. Is this your house, Raj?
What about?
Yeah, this is a studio at my pad. Yeah, right.
All right, so Naraj, what we're trying to do, unfortunately, individually, in all bands, if you're listening to me, all bands that are out there, we're all trying to figure out our tech table. We call it. You know, we're all trying to. You know, Greg got his tech table. He's a guitarist. He's got his guitar. He's got his his computer and his interface, and we're all trying to figure it out right now. Right. And everyone and everything, like you guys right now, like Devin getting this OBS system, getting everything working right now. This is the forefront of music today, and we got to figure it all out. So, you know, Raj, your tech table is gnarly and very on the high end of the world. Right now, me and Greg are in Travi Bongo, and where's he at? The Michigan.
Travi's right here.
Travis, I was gonna say Travis over here. He's chilling.
No, where's Travi? No, Travi's over in Michigan, right?
Wisconsin.
He wants you guys to think he's in Michigan.
No. The moral story is
he ain't in Michigan.
Moral story is like wherever these fucking guys are that are in my band. Like it's Michigan, here in California. Right now
It's so weird, huh?
It's so fucking weird. But our tech tables, this computer, this device, this thing, I'm cleaning the screen. You know, the chords that are going on, it's real and it sucks. But this is our new reality. And at least for the next 2 or 3 years, we need to get like somewhat used to it. And God bless the day we were all together. And I can't wait for us to play together again. You know, and I know me and you, all of us on the screen will play together again, but in front of all these people, people that really have loved all of our growth in the 10, 12 years. And Raj, you've been playing music forever. Like, I love you. I look up to you so much. So I was so honored to play with you.
Yeah, Raj.
We did the Mig thing at the Eagle's Nest with fucking Mario C with the Beastie Boys doing that thing. You know, and you, Devin, for being with the Long Beach Double Stars, I fucking love it. Like so many of our dreams in this square has really come true. And I don't think it's the end. I just think it's a reevaluation of how it's going to work, which you're doing it right now. Mm-hmm. And then I can't wait. The gratitude. You started the question on the gratitude from when we're going to be on the show again, and actually being touch our friends again. You know, go out there and I mean, we go nationally around the fucking wherever we can, and there's not one. There's hundreds of people. And we want to always be there for all of our fans and all of our friends and their family to us. Fortunate youth. Look at the sun starting to go down on Greg.
That's nice.
Beautiful.
That's nice.
It.
That's
Hey,
well, that's. Go ahead, Greg.
Love you guys.
Trying to dodge a little this way. No,
he's been hot.
Someone made a comment in here, Dan. I don't know, maybe Devin put it up on the screen, but it said so poetic, and I think Dan has been the most poetic on this whole conversation, and he's right. You know what I mean? You're right.
I haven't got to have any experience with any of my friends in such a long time. I have so much to say.
You could definitely, parlay that into like a Fortunate Youth poetry book or something.
Oh, shut it!
I kind of say that tongue in cheek, but at the same time, I'm serious about it. You know, I mean, like, hey, man. In these times, look, I'm gonna touch on your point. I ain't gonna take a whole lot of time, but you mentioned it. You mentioned the tech level, and you mentioned, and the beautiful part out of this is that out of necessity, a lot of musicians are learning, whether it be how to live stream, whether it be getting the interface now and learning, everything, connecting the dots. It's either sink or swim right now, right? Because look, I will be the first person to have the positive vibe that we're gonna get back out there sooner than later. But none of us know. None of us. It's funny, right? Because you talk to people and everyone's all like, next year.
No, sir.
Like the first day of January is some magical day. The first day of January is a magical day where the vaccine comes and everyone's all nice. And it's like, all right.
If you know my wives, there are a lot of them and they ain't having this. They don't want they don't want their husbands going out there in this shit.
Well, I'll keep it short and saying that you're good for that. You guys are good for that, to keep it going, figuring out how to adjust, because we can't depend that it's gonna come back next month, next year, in 2 years. We have to.
We're gonna be ready for it.
Oh, definitely, and I hope it does, and I know it will. We all feel it, but it's sink or swim
We're
for
gonna be safe.
musicians right now.
We're gonna be safe.
And so
Everyone's gonna
that's
be
why
safe.
that's why I bring up the poetry book, because that's another outlet.
There you go.
another way, see?
We gotta keep doing this.
I love you, Rod.
I'll be the
I like
first.
it, Rod.
I'll be the
We'll
first.
talk about this off camera, but I love you, Rod.
Let's talk about off camera. Let's make some moves. I got my contract ready.
All
You
right.
guys sign a
We
contract.
got ideas.
before- yeah, we gotta-
Well, hey, Dan and Greg, we want to thank you guys so much for coming on, man. Not only was it great to talk to you, but it's great to see your faces. We're right there with Dan when he's saying, like, we miss everybody, and especially you guys. You know, you guys are like two of the people and Fortunate Youth as a whole that I just like come to expect to see, like, whenever I'm on tour somewhere or like at a festival, and it's definitely like nice to see your guys' beautiful faces.
No, you guys are the best. Speaking of that, though, you know, I've watched a few of the episodes. All great. But definite shout out to Kyle, and I think we all need to do a freeze frame.
Oh yes.
Just
Oh
because
my
we gotta
God.
live on.
Okay.
We gotta
All right,
live
all right.
on.
We're doing it.
We gotta live it on.
Jeez, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, check it out.
Live on.
Before we do, I gotta open up a new one for that now.
Oh,
Shout out,
Shout out-
me
shout
too.
out to Scott.
All right, here we go.
Scott Brewing.
Okay,
You wanna do
Hold
one.
on. Wait, on three. Ready?
All right, ready?
1, 2, freeze it.
It's gonna be over because you guys are like still stuck. You guys are still stuck.
Oh, Greg's the winner. Greg wins. Greg wins.
I was like, you guys
Greg's the
are
winner.
stuck. What's going on?
Hey, love you guys. Thanks for having us. Great to see you guys.
Love you guys too, man.
guys
We'll
are
see
the
you guys
best.
soon, and be good. And
Yes.
can't wait till we're all together again.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
All right,
Keep
y'all.
up the good work, boys.
Likewise, we shall.
Yeah,
Peace.
man. The freeze.
All right,
the
that was
freeze
super
frame,
fun.
We forgot the freeze frame.
I know.
Man, Kyle would be disappointed, but we're bringing it back, so he'd be stoked. Freeze frame.
I know. I'm glad Greg brought it up because I was telling him before, or he was telling me when he came on earlier,
Yeah.
to do the sound check that you guys, I don't think you guys have done a freeze. We got to do one, and I
Not,
forgot
dude.
about it, but he remembered.
Oh man, we should have done one with. You know, I always think like Anthony B when we had him on or something. That'd be great, right? Anthony B freeze frame. Anthony B
would freeze.
Pop Rocks or Jawbreakers.
Yeah,
I'd love
right.
To see, yeah.
Well, that was really good to see those guys and talk to them
Mhm.
because, like I said, like Fortunate Youth is just one of those bands in this American reggae scene that like you know if you're gonna go play a festival, they're probably gonna be there.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? And like I'm so used to seeing them, and Expanders did at least one month-long tour with them, and some other like one-off shows, and just I miss all my friends.
I do too, Devin.
It
We're
was
gonna
good to see
get there.
them.
We'll get there someday.
Oh, for sure. It's all life is a
Life
thing.
is like a bowl of chickens. I don't know.
Life is like a bowl of avocados they give you in the green room.
Yes.
Sometimes
Tequila avocados.
they're hard. Sometimes
They're soft.
they're really soft. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're huge, like in Florida,
Oh, Florida
and
does a big
shaped kind of like a
avocado.
duck's head with
Yeah.
a beak.
Yeah, I
But
love that. What are you gonna do?
No matter what they are, you can chop them up and make some guac.
I love guacamole. Speaking of guacamole,
Mm-hmm.
we have the Lions on. Like that one?
That was really good.
Yeah.
That was really
Mhm.
good.
The Lions are a special band, and I will start off naming the reasons why they're special.
Please do.
They're one of those bands that, as individuals, it's like they're the X-Men or something, right? Like as individuals, you could single out any one of them, and they are at the top of their game. You know, their names, they're their own entity, they're their own brand, they're their own band. So I mean, it's an all-star band. That's pretty much what it is, and they don't ever promote it like that, but we all know. And I know yourself, you play with the Lions as well, as a
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're lucky to have you on guitar. So they're coming on next week.
Yep, I'm lucky to be in that band. I've been playing with them since I don't know exactly when, but it's been about 10 years.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about that next week for sure. But
Yeah,
you're
we'll
right.
dig in.
It's they don't promote themselves as such, but it's definitely an all-star band
Yeah.
in that it was put together, by people who had been in other bands that had other bands that like that was their band.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, I'm going to do this other thing and really handpick musicians and pick people who are great players and who are a great hang. And it really is that, man. It's like for a band with 12 or 13 people in it, they have succeeded in just being like the it's amazing to get a group of people together like that, and there's not one jerk. There's not like any problem in the band. It's just like a group of great guys.
I don't know, man. That Dave Wilder guy's kind
Except
of
for Dave Wilder, which we will talk about next week. He
off.
is a wild card. No pun. But yeah, next we've got the Lions because they have a new single coming out this Friday, which I got to play on. I didn't get to play on a lot of the Lions stuff because a lot of their recordings happened before I joined the band. But this is one of a handful of tunes that I'm playing guitar on. It's a cover of Derek Harriot's classic rocksteady tune, The Loser. And it's really cool because, you know, the Lions have some members of Hepcat in the band, Destin Berry and Alex Desert. And, you know, Hepcat used to play and still do play the Loser a lot live. And I don't think they ever released a version of it. And so the Lions were like, well, let's do one. And so it's, you know, you got the Hepcat guys singing over a heavy rhythm section. They really did justice to it. I think it sounds great. It comes out it's out, but this Friday is like the UK release or something like that. But you can go pick it up right now. If you go just Google the Lions, The Loser, you can find there's a 7-inch record, and you can get it on Bandcamp and all that stuff. But this Saturday, the Lions will be joining us, and we are very excited.
They'll be roaring.
Yeah.
They'll be roaring. I'm really excited for that.
We're gonna have all 12 of them on, so it's gonna be just like little tiny squares all over the thing. Yeah.
Brady Bunch, massive. Yes, I love it.
So, Raj, what besides that have you got coming up?
Oh, I got a couple things. I started this little garden in my backyard, doing some tomatoes, doing some squash. We'll see how that goes.
Yams.
But besides the garden, ladies and gentlemen, I've recently joined the roster of Live Lesson Masters. You can go to their website, and they have just a crazy amount of talent that's registered with them. And I'm one of the cats that is fortunate to be on the roster. Like I said, the premise of the whole thing is you go on there and you can kind of set up appointments and meetings with different artists. And they have it all categorized in, like, if you want to learn about guitar, you want to learn about bass, you want to learn about keyboards. It even gets so specific as to be like, do you want to learn about, in my case, reggae keyboards or reggae production or even reggae history. We don't even have to touch an instrument, but it just gives you a chance to have a one-on-one meeting with someone that you may want to learn from. I even think I have something in there like just hang session. You can go up there and sign up just to hang out. I don't know. We'll hang out.
Roger's fun to hang with. You guys should really take advantage of that.
Hang out. So anyways, yeah, I'd recently joined these cats. They have, like I said, they have a crazy amount of cool people that are with them, and go check it out. It's something that's kind of cool. Devin, you have something similar, man. It's like Coke and Pepsi. I heard the BackstageMusicLessons.com, right?
Yeah, that's it. Same thing, man. You can get a lesson with me on guitar or songwriting or singing or whatever you want to do. And yeah, you just go to BackstageMusicLessons.com, find me on there, and we can talk some reggae if you're trying to write a song, or if you're trying to learn how to play some reggae guitar. I'm there for you. And every Tuesday I do my songbook sessions where it's through Rootfire TV, just like this is, where you can tune in and I'm playing acoustic stuff. I'm not doing it this Tuesday. Vanessa and I and her sister Carol are going on a little vacation.
Oh, nice.
So I won't be doing it this Tuesday. Kobe? She is not, and we're not bringing Gussie either because Gussie it sucks. Gussie is such a hiking dog. And we're going up to do some camping, and Gussie can't come because he's got an elbow problem right now. So he's staying with my parents, it really sucks. It's like I don't know if you've ever for me, I loved Disneyland when I was a little kid, and then in my early 20s, I went, and it was the first time where I was kind of like, it's lost a little of its magic. And I went again in my mid 20s and same okay, this doesn't have the same magic. And then when I went with my friend Ben and his little daughter, it was suddenly I love this again because I was experiencing it through a little kid's eyes.
Right.
And that's kind of how I view now camping and hiking and all this stuff. It's I love bringing my dog and just watching him go nuts. So it's going to be a bummer that he's not there.
Yeah, I feel
But and also everyone go follow me on Twitch, Man Like Devin. I want to just mention that really quick because as you can see behind me, I've got all these records. And I like to do live DJ sessions, and I've done some on Instagram, but Instagram now, after about 10 minutes, just kicks you off because their algorithm recognizes that you're playing stuff that you don't own the copyright to. Twitch, so far, doesn't seem to do that. And so I'm waiting until I get, a handful of Twitch followers, and then I'm gonna do some live DJ stuff on Twitch. Roger, you should get on that too. We should maybe do like a Reggae PodClash DJ
man.
sesh or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, right now, if you go to my Twitch channel, there's nothing on it. But just go follow me, and I'm gonna schedule something soon. So that's
Nice.
that.
Nice. Twitch.
Yeah.
I remember we did something with Long Beach Dub All Stars with Twitch, right?
Mhm.
that
Oh,
one thing?
maybe, I'm not sure. It started as like a video game thing where people like
Right.
play video games and share their screen, and you can watch it. Like you can watch how they played like afterwards and stuff.
Right.
But
that's a thing. Everyone wants to watch someone doing something.
Right.
There's a new level of laziness, people. Come on. And it starts with the kids, right? I got like, little people, little youngins in my family. I don't have any kids myself, but that's the craze, right? You're like, what are they watching? Oh, they're watching a video of someone else playing a video game instead of
Right.
playing a video game. Like,
yeah,
what?
when I was a kid, it was like my parents were like, "You shouldn't play video games so much," and I'm like, "Why? It's a skill like Street Fighter. You have to like learn how to do these moves." And now it's like, nope. I'm just watching someone do these
Yeah.
moves. But
And not only
hey.
that, is that now those kids that were playing video games, they're probably like millionaires.
oh, for
some
sure.
of these people are. Some of these kids are.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, mom and dad, I got like thousands of cats that want to watch me play. I'm in
Right.
demand. Let me play Street Fighter, Hadouken.
And mom can't argue with that.
Mom. No.
And-
go ahead.
I was gonna tell people to go. Also, as I mentioned earlier on the show, the Reggae PodClash is now available as a podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Yes.
So you can go to Apple Podcasts,
Yes.
Spotify, whatever it may be. I know there's a bunch of services. We're on all of them now. So please subscribe, rate, and review the PodClash on the
Yeah,
podcast servers.
And if you want the full lineup of the different outlets, different podcasts, and obviously we're the Apple Podcasts and Spotify, all the big ones, but there's a couple other ones that you may not know about. Just go to our website, the reggaepodclash.com. There's a section in there called Listen to the PodClash, and it'll give you the full list. It'll give you the full link. And also, we've upgraded the website a little bit, so now we have the archive of all the shows. If you want to see past shows, this has been our 11th show.
yeah.
And we're super stoked on it, and the momentum is going, and we thank you all for tuning in and listening, and we will just want to keep doing it. And if you guys have any comments for us, you could email us thereggaepodclash@gmail.com. I know it took me an
So
hour
weird.
to how long I practiced. I was like, all right, when you point in the right direction.
Yeah, it's
And
the
I was-
opposite. It's
I was
really
doing-
weird.
I was doing this just by myself in the studio. So.
It's down there.
It's down somewhere, point down somewhere. But
All right,
yes,
y'all.
yes, we have those two locked in.
Yeah, send us an email. Follow us on Instagram, the Reggae PodClash, and send us. People have sent us some cool messages, and we read every single one,
We do.
and are definitely making moves to try to get people have requested special guests that we are now going to be having. So send us messages. And we want to thank our special guests, Fortunate Youth, Greg and Dan. It was super fun. Thank you, Roger. Great
Thank
to
you,
see
Dev.
you as always.
Yes, man, it's been another good one.
Yeah.
And thank you all out there in YouTube, Facebook land. We'll see you next Saturday. Later days.
Later days.